that they're always trying to improve their software. And I like that about them. Can I use their software? I think their software has some of the same, the biggest issue is choosing which setup to use. That's one of the biggest problems. Which setup? But their AI is fascinating and it gets better all the time. But always choosing which AI robot or which AI setup or which one of our setups, it's challenging sometimes. And sometimes it isn't clear. Rory has always been a friend to me. That's what I could say. All right. We're going to look at oil. Our stream has started, so good morning to everyone. Let me see if I can post the link for our webinar. It's posted. See if we get a few people watching. Amazon was a big disappointment. Big disappointment. There's still a few good earnings left. There still is some good earnings left. Next week, we've got Cisco and McDonald's. There's a lot of earnings, but not a lot that are really moving the market. You'd think some of them would, like Humana and Coke, and they just haven't been real tradable. Um, Waiting on Broadcom, waiting on Walmart, waiting on Home Depot, Nvidia. Those are a couple of weeks away, some of them 2, 3 weeks away. Yeah, earnings were very mixed this quarter. They were pretty mixed. We definitely had some mixtures. I think, look, part of the problem is these markets are tremendously, tremendously volatile. On the YM, putting our reverse continue on the chart like we always do, doing a reverse continue, 35 target, 35 stop. Just doing one contract today, 35 target, 35 stop. And I'll do that in my new funded account, number 66. It's up a couple of bucks. It's a new funded account. I'll trade the YM mornings in there. So that is YM reverse continue. That's the label. And we said number 66 on that. The big issue with the YM this morning is we've pulled off the high now. We have pulled off the high. So I will put, whoa, whoa, whoa. What just happened? Gold burst, YM dropped. 200, 49, 200. The YM dropped 60 ticks in that candle. 60 ticks in like a second. Yes, I wonder if I got McDonald's date wrong. I'm wondering if I got McDonald's date wrong. I better check it. I better check when McDonald's next earnings are coming out. I thought they were this coming week, McDonald's. Let's check. So earningswhispers.com, type in the ticker MCD, McDonald's. Yeah, they're this week, February 11th. And then I'm always interested in Broadcom. They're in March, first week in March. Home Depot is one of our favorites. 2 weeks. Walmart usually has a decent move. Couple of weeks, a week. All right, so there's still some fun ones. Still some fun ones. All right, YM putting magnet on, and don't forget we have the new range. Market open 5 minute range on the YM. If there's no magnet trade, or if you just prefer the range, look at gold, look at oil. What is going on with oil right now? There must be news, and I don't have my news turned up, but I'm not hearing or seeing anything at all. Not seeing anything at all. Now, oil, let's get a reverse continue on there. Reverse continue, target 25 ticks, 25 stop. Now, if you get caught in a crazy move like that, there's not going to be anything you can do. You could put 100 stop. You could put 100 stop. Nvidia is going to be a doozy. That's what a doozy. That's from Groundhog Day when the guy sticks his foot in the puddle of ice. Remember that? Ew, what a doozy. I forget the exact thing that he says. That's a doozy. The guy that walks, crosses the street, and his foot goes in the. It's actually Bill Murray who sticks his foot, right? Now I'm just trading a regular prop account for the oil open this morning. Not, well, I can't blow up my funded account on this oil trade, but I will trade. Wait, that's our reverse continue. So let's leave that alone. 25 and 25. Let's make sure it's right. Count 38, apply it, and okay it. All right, we have our reverse continue on oil. Is oil going to test the low right now? Do you want to take a short on oil? Looking at oil on a 15-minute chart, very negative day. Although, look at what it did. I mean, oil was very positive overnight. Like gold, it was positive all evening. But gold didn't do this sell off. Oil then made new highs, right? And then about 4:30 in the morning, it started selling off with a vengeance. And that's where we are now.
According to Axios, another round of US-Iran talks to take place in the coming days.
Maybe that's another round of U.S. Iranian talks are going to take place in a couple of days. Just heard that. And before that, the word was not sure when the talks are taking place. So, do you have any interest in taking a short
Order submitted.
for a test of the low? Every scalp that I take, every single scalp that I take is a disaster. Every single scalp that I take these days, I've been scalping rather poorly, rather poorly. Now, you got to be above you really got to be above the previous open. You got to be above the previous open, but it's a lot of risk. I would never trade this in a cash account. Never do it in a cash account. Groundhog Day is such a great movie. All-time favorite. Definitely an all-time favorite. There was a book. Now, the oil trade. I'm going to test the oil trade. There was a book for the last time, maybe. I can't remember what it was called. I read it when I was much younger. It was just like Groundhog Day. It was about a guy who wakes up always. In this case, it was different than Groundhog Day, is that every time he woke up, it was 5 minutes earlier than it was the last time he woke up. I wish I could remember the name of the book. All right, we've got a range trade. Our oil trade's been a range trade. Let's load it. Oil, new open range. Has not been working. I've also been ruining ones that are working. I've not been trading. I've been trying to outthink the market. It's difficult to outthink the market. And I'm trading like a newbie. I mean, that's what's driving me crazy. I've been trading like a newbie, right? What am I taking a short there for? Why not just wait for our setup, wait for the open, right? I don't like that. That was a dumb trade to take. And the market's going to punish me for it, for being dumb. It was the wrong time to take a trade. And the market's going to punish me for it. Most probably. All right? Most probably. If I can survive until the open, then we may get that move down that I was looking for. Am I willing to keep my stop out of the way until the open? Um, maybe. Maybe. All right, so our range trade starts at 8:59. It ends at 9:00:40. Target of 8, a target of 20. I'm using a 15 stop this morning to start. BE -4 on the target one stop move. Should it hit the first target? All right. Should it hit the first target? The range starts at 8:59, ticks above the range 1, ticks below 1. Show the range graphics on chart. That just means draw the range so you can see it, so you see it calculating. And now I can't really trade it in this account 38. So I have to trade it in a different prop account. So 35 is pretty new also. So I'll trade it in 35. I need a separate chart for it. I really need a new chart for it. That's the truth. There's no point actually in putting it on this chart because I'm dealing with this other trade unless this trade ends. Unless this trade ends. So let me create an extra oil chart for the moment. Let me cancel this one. So right now, if this goes and lets me get out at a profit, nope, you know what? Let's just leave this. If I survive till the open, I think oil is going to test the low. Our range trade, we don't need the news right now. That's for 10 o'clock, so we could deal with this later. All right. I need an extra chart at the moment, so I can just duplicate an oil chart here. duplicate new window. So I have a new oil chart, but I'm putting it on a different account so my orders will go away. We'll trade that range. Now we can put the range on that I was just putting on, News Trader, range trade. So the range starts at 859. If you want to learn how to put it on from scratch, 859. One tick above the range, one tick below the range. Show the range graphics on chart. The range
9 a.m.
ends
Eastern Time. We're expecting comments from Feds Bostic.
9:00:40. We have position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1, target 1 is 8, target 2 is 20, our stop 15 to 20,
Treasury
and then
Secretary
target
Bassett
1
says new
stop
effort to
move, break
facilitate
even
investment from
BE
allies.
minus 4 if it hits the first target, and we will trade that. What did we say? In number 35, right? Yep, 35. Label it oil open range. Oil open range. So my favorite dog in the world had his cancer surgery. He's okay. They couldn't get as much of the tumor out as they wanted to. You know how they do margins. They got a lot of it. It's not metastasized. He's coming home. He lived the night. It's looked like we just have to watch him. He should be okay. We just have to watch him. So hopefully he'll be okay. It wasn't a perfect report because we would have wanted super wide margins, meaning they cut out the tumor with extra space all around it. Sometimes because where a tumor is located, you can't do that. Let me just say a message to my daughter. Sounds like it's okay, not perfect, but not horrible. All right, so we've got our range. We're going to put a reverse continue on the chart also. Reverse continue, one contract, 25 tick target, 25 tick stop, discretionary setup, right? We'll label it CL to reverse continue because we have another one set up on a different chart. And we're on account number 35. This is the market open chart. Okay, this is our market open chart. So we should be able to survive with a narrow chart like that. All right, that's our oil open chart. YM, we're just watching. YM, we're watching. Right now we've got the YM reverse continue, and we need to put our magnet on the YM. So I'll put my magnet. I'll label it. YM, we said a new funded account for YM. Not trading the YM at the moment, just watching. Label it YM, and we do have the 5-minute range on the YM that made us money yesterday. It's a setup that a lot of people have been using, a 5 range. Langford has been working on it for a while. So YM 50 on the stop. We've been doing most mornings. I think our stop is a little, let's see if we can get by with a 40 on the stop. We have one target. Position one is a 1, and our target is -3. And right now on the YM, oh, you can't mess with things when you're adjusting strategies. It's just the rules. Looking at the charts, it's very far from the low. I don't think we're getting to the low this morning. All right.
Mine in 5 minutes' time. We're expecting comments from Feds Bostic.
I think the PP is a very interesting potential magnet. It's a possibility on the YM if you get a pullback on the open, which is pretty common. At the moment, we'll put our high of day, low of day on. And our entry, if you hover over the entry button, 77 for 15 tick target. It's not a big, giant target. You can also, in the news software, we could target the PP, which would be a completely different trade. We would target the PP by doing a custom level and then saying target the PP. No problem, Francis. So I foolishly put on a scalp to test the low on oil before the open. So I've been bemoaning the trade going against me. I explained that we are not trading oil next week because it's been a terrible, not terrible, but it hasn't been performing well for 3 to 4 weeks now. That's looking. And today is my last shot. I'm not trading it in my funded account. I've got the regular range trade all the way on the right. I've got a scalp on the left that I think possibly we will get a test of the low on the market open. That's what I'm planning on. And in the middle, we have our normal YM. We do have that new YM set up, the YM 5-minute range that I didn't put on the chart. And I don't want to get people so confused with all these different setups. We created a template yesterday. So we have a new YM open. Oil selling off before the open. YM, what did I label this? YM new range open. We'll date it today.
Order filled.
And our oil trade worked. All right. The oil trade worked. We'll talk about the YM in a minute. All right. At the moment, I just have it as an option. Now, I can get rid of this oil chart if I put the trade on my left chart, which I prefer to do. I have enough time. Look, here's what I'll do to save time. I'm going to get rid of this chart at the moment. I don't need it.
Iran's foreign minister says views were exchanged via Oman to the US.
It's an extra chart. I had copied, if you remember, what did I do? I had copied this chart from our current oil chart. So this is the exact same chart. So we already have our setup because I just put it on the chart. So we have our normal range. We have our normal range. I'm not ready to trade the YM yet this morning.
Iran's foreign minister says negotiations will return to capitals for consultations. Talks will continue.
Oil.
Surely expecting Feds Bostic comments.
Here's our range now. I don't know that I want to trade
Iran says time and place of
the
next
oil
US
trade.
talks to be decided.
I mean, I just
US effective
made
federal
a
funds
nice
rate
profit
unchanged
on
at
oil, right?
3.64%.
We just made $250 on oil. So whatever happens now, there's risk because oil's down almost $1 again. It was up overnight, it's down big. You know, it's a trade that's been difficult. Also, it's a trade I have not been trading well.
Iran's foreign minister says the wall of mistrust should be overcome.
Looks like it's going to fill short. No, he can't tell yet. We have 30 seconds. I'm not trying to outthink it. I don't want to say I'm only going to allow it to fill long. I don't want to outthink it. The market has moved significantly in both directions.
Order submitted. Order
Looks like
submitted.
now if it'll hit our first target, I'll take it. All right. I'll take the first target. It missed my target by one measly tick. One measly tick. If it hits the first target, our stop goes to break even plus 4. BE
Order
plus
filled.
4. It made it. Stop is now going to break even. I'm expanding my upper target. If it pulls back, I don't really care. I'll trail. Okay. Today's a pretty volatile day. It's just a volatile day. Now I'm trailing to the previous target.
Order
Target 1.
filled.
All right, so it took me out another 160 bucks on oil. That's $410.
The EU Commission
That
releases a
makes up for
statement on 20
yesterday's
sanctions package.
oil trading. So I'm done with oil. I'm done with oil. 2 winning trades. Got a little bit of market luck on the first. Maybe it was responding to the news that there's going to be continued talks. Regardless, magnets are magnets, right? I
Oil
took it
hits
as a
session low
reverse
as Iran says US
continue,
talks off to a
but
good
a
start.
reverse continue is a substitute for a magnet. Does everybody understand what I mean when I say that? That a
EU's von der Leyen
reverse
says a full
continue,
maritime
a better way
services
to say
ban
it,
for
a
Russian crude.
reverse continue can be used as a quick and dirty magnet. I think people that trade magnets understand that.
And von der Leyen
A
says
reverse
listing
continue
43
trade
more
is a
shadow fleet
scalp. So
vessels.
if you scalp in the direction of the magnet, it's a quick and dirty magnet. That's all I'm saying. All right, listen. Give me 1 minute to heat my coffee. We're now a whole new, different setup. We're going to go over to the MNQ, and we're going to go to our
Von der Leyen
market
says
open
propose
trades.
a maritime
All right,
services
give
ban
me
with partners.
2 minutes, heat the coffee, and I'm going to take my mic with me just for simplicity. I will be right back.
EU's von der Leyen says listing 20 more Russia regional banks. EU's von der Leyen says we will take measures against cryptocurrencies, companies training them, and platforms enabling crypto trade. And EU's von der Leyen further adding, we are targeting several banks in third countries involved in facilitating illegal trade in sanctioned goods. Von der Leyen further says we tighten export restrictions to Russia with new bans on goods and services. Von der Leyen says activating sanctions anti-circumvention tool. Von der Leyen says sanctions include new import bans on metals, chemical and critical minerals not yet under sanctions, worth over 570 million euros. The EU to prohibit some tech exports at risk of Russia re-export.
Okay, is the mic working? I'll gladly pay you on Tuesday for a hamburger I can eat today. Is the mic working? Good. Okay. So, we're going to go to MNQ 0326 YM. It's bullish. Do you want to let it fill to the upside before the open? Too late now. I never allow it to fill if I miss the entry. It's going to work. I think that magnet's going to work. We do have our YM 5-minute range strategy also. It's a new range trade. 930 is the end of the range. The start of the range is 925. 6 ticks above, 6 ticks below. Show the range graphics on chart. Save yourself a template like we do. Position 1's a 1, position 2 is a 1. Target of 10, target of 20, stop of 25. And you could do a BE -4 if it hits the first target. And yeah, I'm going to use a slightly bigger target for target 2. Yesterday we easily would have made the extra big target. You can always manage your way out of a target. Into, out of, towards, away from, you know what I mean. And we'll trade this in our new funded account, number 66. 77, Sunset Strip. It's the wrong song. Route 66 is what I'm thinking. MNQ. All right, putting a reverse continue on the chart. And yeah, I should have taken that darn magnet on the YM. Should have taken the darn magnet on the YM. I think. It hasn't hit the target yet. It's going to. It's going
China
to.
and South Africa signed framework agreement on jointly developing an economic
Now you
partnership.
do have
according to the
magnets
Commerce Ministry.
on the MNQ. Looks like a higher day, lower day on the MNQ is going to work. Normally we don't do that in the morning on MNQ. We have our strategy, put a reverse continue on. Couple of contracts. Go for a 50 tick target on a Friday. 50.75 on the stop. That's our reverse continuation. And the MNQ, we've been trading it in our funded number 54 account. We label it MNQ, reverse continue. I do believe I'm in deep trouble on my funded account, 54. I do believe I'm in deep trouble on that account. I'm going to load my R trader and check in a minute. Our breakout trade on the MNQ, he's coming home. He's coming home. The surgery went well. Overall good. Overall good. They have to just keep a good eye on him. He's a good boy, so I'm glad he lived overnight. I was worried that they don't have anybody watching the dogs overnight. They say they do, but I doubt it. Um, I didn't want him to be found dead in his cage in the morning. That would have been the most horrible thing. I'm so glad he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be okay. This is the second major cancer scare he's had in a year. He had half his bladder removed, and he's totally normal with his bladder. And this should have no effects, no lasting effects of any kind. So we'll see. Hopefully he'll be all right. He's 8. He's 8. He's little. He's had bad health. If he gets 4 more good years, we'd be very happy. He may get more than I'll get. All right, MNQ. MNQ. I love him, though. I just love him. And I'm not like a kind of emotional kind of person. I'm just not. But I just love this dog. He is so cute.
The ECB sends
He just
economic
licks
policy
my ear.
checklist to
Like
EU
when I
leaders.
go over to
ECB
visit
calls
him,
for deepened
he
single
eats my
market
ear
and
off.
simplifying
It's just the
legislation,
funniest thing in the world.
and the
He's so
Eurosystem
funny.
stands ready to
And
contribute
he's funny.
its
He's
expertise.
just really funny.
ECB checklist
And
to
I
EU
love
leaders
that.
seen
And
by
now I'll stop talking
seen
about
by
him because
sources
I'm
and
ready
calls for urgent collective EU
to
action
shoot
across 5
myself.
key areas.
I
Calling
hate
for
when
strengthening
hearing
of
people
core
talk about
institutional
their
framework
dogs.
and calls for measures to foster innovation and protect
And
the
here I am
economy.
talking about my
The
stupid
ECB
dog. It's
list
not even my
includes
dog.
savings, investment union, and digital euro.
All right. So setting up the MNQ, we got our reversal set up. We need to set up our breakout. We're going to add a strategy to the chart, a breakout. We have a template. Save templates, everybody. Save templates. It's very helpful not to have to redo your strategy every time. So I'm going to load the template. MNQ new open, right? Give it a name so you can find it. MNQ new open. I'll give you the times. We're starting at 9:25 and we're ending at 9:30, Roz, on the YM. Start at 9:25, end at 9:30. It's Langford's trade. It's Langford's YM range trade. I'm using targets of 10 and 30, 6 ticks above the range, 6 ticks below. MNQ new range is what we're looking for. MNQ new open. There it is. Right click it to make sure the date is today. Load it. 9:29:59 is our trigger time. 40 bracket. Putting the time on 0 for a moment. $30 and $100 on the targets. BE, target 1 stop move. If it hits the first target, I go to break even. 125 on the stop. The reason I'm setting the time to 0 is to just check our bracket. Charts need to be on sim for that.
Order
Breakout
submitted.
NQ.
Order canceled.
I want to get rid of the horizontal line. Right click, strategy, highlight the breakout. go to optional, show vertical line. I said horizontal because I'm a dope. Show the vertical line, uncheck it, apply it, and okay it. When you check the bracket now, you don't get
Order
a
submitted.
vertical line. You get the diamonds. Shine on you, crazy diamond. You still get the
Order
diamonds.
canceled.
They are where the vertical line would be. So now I'm going to go back. Strategy, highlight the breakout. Now I forgot to uncheck it, so I can disable it inside the software. Apply it, uncheck it, and apply it. The software chart we're trading on is account number 54. It's labeled breakout MNQ open, and we need to put the time back to 9:29:59. Apply it and okay it because we made changes to the strategy, and then put the chart trader on the account we're trading it, number 54, and we're pretty much ready to go. Our YM, the
Expecting
fill
comments now from
was
Fed Bostic, who's speaking on
277.
Bloomberg TV. We'll put a video out for those interested.
277.
Video is on the feed for those interested.
And our stop has nowhere near been challenged. Okay. Our stop did not get challenged. So you'd still be in your YM magnet if you took that trade. So we have a YM reverse continue, 35 tick target, 35 stop. That's what we do almost every morning. We have that set up. I have a YM magnet, high of day, low of day. I did not take the trade. It triggered, I think it was a few minutes after 9 that it triggered. What time was it? Yep, it was a little bit after 9. Normally I would have taken it. Just we were trading oil. 50, James, 40. I used a 40 stop on the YM. Yesterday we used 50. Today we were thinking 40. And then we have
Fed
the
Bostic
YM
says
reverse
sentiment in
continue, the
district
YM
following
magnet.
cautious optimism.
And if you don't want to trade a magnet on the open, we have a new YM range trade. And I'll tell you that setup again. The YM range, we start the range at 925. 6 ticks above the range, 6 ticks below the range. Show the range graphics on chart. That turns on the range so it draws. The range box color you have complete
Bostic says
control
tariff
over. If
effect
you
will
don't
have
want
run through by mid
magenta,
of the
you
year.
can change your range color. You can change the thickness of the range lines, okay? Bars we don't use at the moment. Those are other setups. Bars and zones, other setups. We don't normally use them, but there's a lot of other setups we don't use these days. The trade type, of course, is a range trade, and our range end is 930. The range
Bostic
start
says
is
businesses see
925.
upside potential in the economy.
Position 1's a 1, position 2's a 1. I'm using targets of
Bostic says
10 and
inflation has
30.
been too high for too long.
Stop of
at a plus
25. And if it hits my first target, I'll move my stop to BE -4. Save the template. So when you do that, now you've entered it all in. Don't forget to
Bostic
label
says the
it
Fed can't
YM
lose
new
sight of
range.
inflationary concerns.
Okay. You could say YM 930 new range, all right? Anything to differentiate it if you have another YM range. Go to template, type save, then just type in the name of the trade, YM open range 930, and put a date. Always date. Always, always, always date your templates. I would date every file in the world. Good morning, Graybeard. So Graybeard says, I don't like the rejection tails on MNQ, so a bit leery to short. Also, the market's pretty bullish
Bostic
on the
says will be April
MNQ.
or May before data
But
gives
on the
clear
open,
signals.
we honestly don't trade directions. We pretty much just let the trade trade. Where you been all week? Graybeard, we haven't seen you all week. All right. James, are you asking the stop? The stop on the range trade is
Bostic says we need to
25.
keep policy
The stop on
restrictive to
our
get inflation to
magnet
2%.
was 40. The new range, we are using a 25 stop. All right. So a lot of people think it's the Sopranos that they said, just when I'm getting out, they pull me back in. But I believe that's The Godfather, not The Sopranos. And I'm not
Bostic
getting the
says the
quote
economy has
quite
been
right,
K-shaped for a
but I
while
could
before the
somebody can
pandemic.
correct me on that. Just when we want to get out of the oil trade, it works reasonably well almost all week, other than the fact that I didn't trade it well. But I had already made a decision to not trade the oil trade next week. I suppose I can change my mind, and we could always just not do it in a funded account to see how it's doing. Okay, so Graybeard says he wasn't trading much this week, had an issue with his sailboat, trying to sell it. Too old to be wet all the time, prefer something drier. I am like totally the most non-water person that ever lived. Not a boat person, even slightly. Don't hate it or anything, just never. One thing my family never did was water. We never did water at all. We did music. My family was music. Everything was music. My father was a trombone player. He taught me to play trombone. He played with Louis Prima and Killy Smith. He played in big bands. I played in big bands. I went to music school. Everything in my family was music. Played in big bands with my dad. I played in orchestras like that did musical comedy. I always did shows. Like when I was in college, I went to Berklee School of Music for a while. I went to the Boston Conservatory, and I played in bands or in orchestras that supported shows like Oklahoma and all the the
Bostic says I
traditional
don't think the Fed
guys
is
and
too
dolls
woke.
and stuff like that. So
Inclusion was a mistake.
I'm very versed in older music because of that, because of what my family always had playing. We always had Sinatra on. We always had Sammy Nestico. We always had uh, what was his name? Williams. I can't remember the. Some of it was really smooth, terrible music. The shame is my dad was not a big. He always wanted to improvise on the trombone, but he couldn't. He tried so hard to be a jazz player, but he couldn't. And I think the mistake he made is he didn't listen to jazz. He listened to like smooth jazz. He listened to
Bostic
uh,
says no idea what Walsh has
Sinatra
in
and Tony
mind for
Bennett,
Fed
and
regime
but he
change.
didn't listen to Ornette Coleman. He didn't listen to the jazz greats. He did listen to Jack Teagarden, who was an amazing trombone player, but he didn't listen to a lot of jazz. And I think if you don't listen to a lot of jazz, you'll never be a good improviser. I think improvising is something that's extremely difficult to teach also. You can teach someone to play the right notes, but you can't teach them to be an incredible jazz improviser. I was not a good jazz improviser. It was not in my soul. And I think it has to be in your soul. The Williams I'm thinking of is neither Andy nor Vaughn. It's neither one. They lived in your hometown. That's cool, Alan.
Bostic says the Fed might need to
There was a
lean more into
Williams
non-official data.
that I'm thinking that was like the king of smooth music. I'm trying to think what the name was. It might not be Williams. I might have the name wrong.
Bostic says I don't see Fed mission creep argument.
Yep, same thing. Same thing. When you go to see, she always calls you back in. Trombone is a very difficult instrument. One of the problems I had, I was actually allergic to the mouthpiece, and it would hurt my lips so much, and I would get swollen. I was allergic to the silver, and I was a really good trombone player, but I wound up quitting pretty young because I hated it. I hated it. My father loved it. I preferred piano, and you know, it's like who said it? Um, I don't remember if it was the guy in. It was some famous rocker who was a trombone player. It might have been one of the guys. It was Joe Walsh. Joe Walsh said you can't meet girls playing trombone. But tell that to James Pankow, the trombone player in Chicago. But the trombone was a difficult instrument to play. It really was hard. But I have really, really great memories growing up. My father and I would go in our basement. We had a really nice finished basement, and we would play duets for hours. We would just stand in the basement playing duet books. He would get duet books at the music store, and we would just play for hours, almost every day. It was really enjoyable.
Bostic says I think it's doable to go back to scarce reserves.
That was before we had a fist fight in my driveway because he wanted me to cut my hair. Anyway, we're getting ready for the Open. Getting ready for the Open. Now, the YM, the magnet didn't work. I don't think it would it have been a stop. It's close. I don't think it would have
Iran
been a
Foreign
stop
Minister
because the
to
entry is 80.
BIRNA says in
It's
talks
a
with
little
US
bit
and
below
Iran,
80.
we underline that any dialogue
The
requires
stop
refraining
is
from
around
threats.
40. So it didn't break the stop. So some people might still be in the
And
YM.
EU's Kala says to
I
ban Russia
think
central bank digital currency.
it's tradable for the magnet
Bostic
on the
says,
Open.
thought I was doing right with the Fed trading rules.
I'd almost rather wait today. I
Iran's
don't
foreign
like the
minister
price
says talks with the
action
US are solely
for a
about the nuclear
long.
issue.
I don't like it on the NQ. On the YM, I don't know if these markets are going to reverse at the Open this morning or what. Normally, I would turn on. Normally, I would turn on the magnet already, but I'm just a little bit concerned about the NQ selling off here
Iran's
so
foreign minister just
strongly.
further adding that they do not negotiate any other issue
There's a
than
lot of
nuclear with the
Iran
US.
commentary right now, so I mean, this is the way it is all the time. If you think about it these days, there's always someone commenting on something, it seems. I'm only trading one contract. Or you could do the new range, right? You could turn off your magnet and just turn on the new range. Now, darn it, I could still get filled if I wanted to. But
1 minute remaining for the
I
market
blew
on
it.
open
I
imbalance.
blew the magnet. The magnet is blown. All right. The magnet is blown. So I'm just putting signals on. And the new YM range It's a pretty big range if you want to trade it, right? That's the range. I'll give it a shot and see how it goes. Or I could trade the YM signals. That would be my choice. If I don't want to trade the range, I can just turn it off, right? And just let the MNQ open trade. It's a
10
10
seconds.
tick first target. Looks like it's going to fill up.
Order submitted. Order submitted. Order
Market on
submitted.
open
Order
imbalance.
filled.
S&P
Order
500
filled.
buy side
NQ trying to
381 million.
trail.
Nasdaq 100
It
sell side
took
Order
me
77
out.
filled.
million. Dow
60
30
buck
buy side
immediate
46 million.
profit.
Mag 70 sell
YM.
side 11 million.
Looks like we had a little profit on the YM. Little profit on the YM. I'm not sure. I wasn't watching the video. It looks like it filled, pulled back, and then went back up. Filled, pulled back, went back up. So the YM range is over. YM range is over. I think we can use bigger targets. It looks like we can use bigger targets, very possibly, in these volatile markets. MNQ gave us like a target and a half. A target and a half. So I'll take it. The MNQ's been behaving well this week. It's been behaving pretty well. Sander grabbed it. Good job. Good job. Sander, about your screenshots, I don't know why. About 2 months ago when you sent me screenshots, they were like the size of a postage
Amazon
stamp. They
shares
were
dropped
so tiny.
9.9% after the
You
company cuts
couldn't
50%
see
boost to
anything.
capital
I couldn't
spending in
see anything.
2026.
But the one you sent me this week was pretty normal. So I don't know if you did something different or I don't know what changed. I honestly don't know what changed. All right, so people will check in with what trade worked. So MNQ, I think I've been trying to build up that account,
US
that
stocks extend
MNQ
gains. Dow
funded
Jones
account,
up
and
1%.
it's still well under where it started. It's 49,264. So, but it's taken forever to just get it going. It's
Amelia
just
shares
taken
up
forever.
2% after five straight days of losses.
But I don't want to blow it up. You know what I mean? I'm not dying to blow it up. I'm just not dying to blow it up. But I'm a little bit tempted to maybe trade one NQ instead of the. Now, if you think this is not going to test the high,
Order submitted.
that should test the high. Come on. Give me at least a little of it. Give me a little of it. I'll take it halfway. I'll take it halfway here.
Order filled.
Bingo. So took it halfway. It popped to the high. So now we're over $100 in our funded account. Francis, the stop might be too tight because now I will say
Amazon shares
this.
sink 10%
Langford's
at
been
the open
trading it
most
for a
since
year.
August 2024.
Langford, correct me. I think you've been trading it for a very long time. A very long time. So I don't know that he wants to mess with a good thing. The thing that we're dealing with is significantly higher volatility in these markets. There's no question. There's significant volatility in these markets. What happened to me, Francis, in prop is
US
hit the
stocks sustained
first
gains, the
target
S&P
and
500
pulled
up
back, so
1%.
I did get a small profit. I did get a small profit. It wasn't a loss with prop data feed. All right. NQ wound up going back in the direction that it was in before the open. It did give us a short winner on the open. It was a short winner. Target, I call it target 1.5. So what does that mean, target 1.5? It means that you were able to trail past your first target, but you didn't get to your second target because it reversed. So I call that target 1.5. All right.
Cable rises
Now,
0.5% amid
YM,
broad dollar
I'm
weakness.
done trading because we have another trade coming up. So I'm removing the YM. Let me think what I'm going to remove. I'm removing the YM new range. Okay, I'm not trading the 930 trade anymore. The new range. I don't need my
The EU's
MNQ
push for
breakout
trusted
anymore.
chips
That
as
should be
part of a new
off
drone
and
strategy.
removed. I wouldn't mind just for a moment or two looking at MNQ magnet to look at signals. Just throwing some signals on there. Not in the funded account, okay? We do have revised preliminary University of Michigan, I believe, coming up. All right, so just watching, we probably will get a short signal on the MNQ. Um, it probably would work. We'll probably get a short signal on the YM soon also. High after 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 high, right? We blew the YM. We blew the YM. Calvin, you could use trailing. You could use trailing. Um, you could use maybe don't move it so close. But sometimes it will be subject to crappy slippage. It happens. And these markets can definitely be prone to crappy slippage. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Now, Revised University of Michigan. Revised University of Michigan. Um, let's look at the DMM. I don't think the DMM tells us enough. Sorry, it's preliminary. It's preliminary. We increased the gold bracket. So let me get rid of our MNQ at the moment. MNQ is done. Now, there's a definite mistake on this DMM. There is a mistake on this DMM. Let me send a quick email. I don't want someone to do something really stupid. Um, let me
US
just send a
stocks
quick
sustained
email. It
gains,
takes like
Nasdaq
30
up
seconds.
1%.
The ES trap trade is, I forgot to take it. I meant to remove it. I meant to remove it. So let me just send this real quick. The ES trap trade is not a valid setup. Okay. All right. Make sure nobody does anything crazy. That would be crazy anyway. Uh, why should you be able to look at
The
that
S&P 500
DMM?
extends gains to 1%. The Nasdaq 100 rises 1
Should you
1%.
be able to look at a DMM and catch a mistake? An experienced trader, yes. But a trap trade, first of all, we never have trap trades with stops that small, almost never, 12 ticks. And we hardly ever have trap trades with targets, the word target. Everything about this DMM is a mess, in all honesty. Um, it should say tier 1, 25, tier 2, 45. All right. But 8 and 14, those orders are too close together. They're absolutely too close together. All right. And it's a complete mistake when you also look at the MES trap trade. Your first tier is 25, your second is 45, and your ES is 8 and 14. That tells you something's wrong somewhere in that report. Okay. Something's wrong somewhere. If you're ever in doubt, just don't trade it. Don't trade it unless you can talk to us. Trading gold. Let's go over to gold. So we're getting rid of our MNQ. I want to see if we get a signal after this bar closes. We should. We should. Now I'm concerned that we didn't get a signal. Oh, I don't have it turned on, so that's on me. Perfect. Signal. Okay. Uh, MNQ magnet gone. MNQ reverse continue gone. Looking at gold. GC 0426. All right. Gold. Taking a look at gold on a 30-minute chart. So last night at midnight, was it midnight? Yep. Gold started selling off. All right. And it sold off quite a bit. 670. Wow. Wow. These are big moves. $2,600 ticks. Jesus. And then it almost looks like it doubled the run up. So you understand why we are not so sure that gold, 2,900 tick move up. Gold, our gold setups may not be safe at the moment, okay? May not be safe. A 30 bracket is nothing in a market like this. And look at the breakout anyway. Do you want to trade a breakout with a journal that looks like that, regardless of what the market is? No. But what's crazy is there's been no movement on gold for 4 months. Really, 6. Because a nick fill means not a lot of movement. And for 4 minutes, there was not a lot of movement. And then nick fill, that means not a big spike. Not a big spike. So I don't recommend trading a gold breakout on this report under any circumstances. It's had 6 non-winners in 6 months. So forget it. The only thing to try today is the MES trap. That's it. If you have to trade this report, And that's really the question. Why do you need to trade this report when it's behaving the way it's been behaving, when it truly has been a gold trade for years? It may be a report that we just want to take it off this month. Did you make money on the open? Were you one of the ones that made money on the open? We did. We made a lot of, not a lot. We made a decent amount of money on the opens. We made 400, over 400 on our oil trades. One of them we probably shouldn't have entered, but we did, and we got lucky. Still, we still made the money. And then our MNQ open worked, and our YM was a tiny winner. It was not a big open winner for us this morning. It wasn't a lot of money, but everything worked. And preliminary University of Michigan, the gold breakout is not a wise trade. If I was going to trade it, we doubled the bracket. But seeing the way gold moved overnight, we had no way of knowing gold was going to move over 2,000 ticks overnight. You
Amazon
got to
closed
use a
over
100 bracket
8-month low, last
if you're
down
going to trade a
4.8%.
breakout. It's probably going to move today. I mean, the report's probably going to move. So for fun, I mean, normally I would prefer a trap trade on this report today. Our trap had been 25 and 45. You got to go 80 and 130 now. You got to go 80 and 130 on your spikes, on your tiers. That probably would be safe. 80 and 130. Or use a 100 bracket on your breakout. Do you really want to trade a breakout with a 100 bracket? I don't know. If you get a 100 tick move, it seems kind of crazy. It seems if you're in a market that's that volatile, you might be just better off. Look for a magnet, look for a reversal after the news. Why try to take all that risk on? It's too complicated. It's almost impossible to know what the right setup is. So let's simulate for fun a trap trade, which is what we've been trading for the past year on this report. Yes, it's a breakout for the deep dive, but we've been trading traps because the breakouts for 6 months haven't been working. So our trigger on the trap would be 959.55. You got to use probably a 40 to 50 stop. Let's say 40 at the moment. Label it trap GC. All right. And what did we say on the tiers? 80 and 130.
The Russell 2000 index rises 2.4%.
85 and 130 is what I'm using. All right. And I'm only simming it. I'm not willing to lose $1,000 on this trade. I don't want to do it. We're working on our accounts. There's no reason to throw away an account. So we'll sim it. We'll sim it. Let's look at our brackets. We'll set the time to 0. All right. We'll set the time to 0. And it'll put our brackets, our tiers on the chart, double tiers.
Order submitted.
Now, gold's pretty bullish. Do you want to let it fill you short? I don't. However, this is why it's even more complicated as a
canceled.
trade. However, I think the news is going to be terrible. This is a consumer confidence and an inflation report. I think both parts of this report are going to be bad. That promotes a long in gold. That would promote a following of the current trend. So I'd let it fill short if it bursts instantly. Okay? But otherwise, if you get to manage the trade, I would remove the short orders. That means The order's on the upside because trap trades go the
At 10
opposite
a.m.
direction.
Eastern
If
Time,
it
we're
goes
expecting
up, it
University of
sells,
Michigan
right?
Sentiment Prelim.
Don't forget that.
Forecast 55, prior
Don't forget that.
56.4, with a range of 59 to 52. Canadian IV PMI, prior
So my
51.9.
trap for the moment,
University of Michigan Expectations Prelim, forecast 53.1,
950,
prior 57.
955.
University of Michigan Condition Prelim, forecast 53.7, prior
The software
55.4.
needs a
University of
47
Michigan
stop
5-year
with our
inflation
setup.
prelim,
So I'm
forecast
putting a 50 stop in.
3.3%, unchanged
I'll
from the
try to
prior.
shrink it.
University of Michigan 1-year inflation
Tier
prelim,
1 is
forecast
85, Tier 2
4%,
is
unchanged from the
130,
prior.
and I'm literally just simming this, all right? But I'll still trade it the way I think it should be traded. Now, the MES, the YM did give reversal signals. When you have a burst up so strong, I would not be jumping into reversals that fast, right? I'd be careful about it. But for now, we're done with the magnet, YM, and we're looking at the MES trap, right? I'm always willing to trade an MES trap. That, I'm game. I'm game. In a prop account, I'm willing. I am getting some blank space in the data. That's a little weird. Now, just not forgetting, let's put a gold reverse continue real quickly on that gold chart also. Gold reverse continue, one position, 40 target, 40 stop, and that's a sim. Label it GC reverse continue. Now, I'm not embarrassed to take a sim. We trade most of the time real. But this is a report that there's really not a way to know for sure what we should do. But like I said, I'll take a shot on an MES trap.
According to Politico, lawmakers
So the
seek
MES
DOJ
trap,
communications with
first
Apple
things
and Google.
first, put our reverse continue on a couple of contracts, do a 30 tick target, 30 tick stop. That'll be a reverse continue. Label it MES, reverse continue, okay? And let's trade it
So further from
in
Politico,
account
lawmaker
number
probes DOJ over
35.
ICE
Oh, we've
tracking
made a lot of
accounts.
money in all these accounts this morning. 160 and 35, 250 and 38. I just want to trade it in an account that hasn't been traded. Where can I trade it? 37, 35, 38, or 37? 37. All right, so the reverse continue is in account number 37. I want us to be able to see what the results are very easily. So our reverse continue is in number 37. That's where we'll put our trap trade. So here's our trap. So remember, we're expecting, now the problem here, ES is very bullish. All right. So you got extra risk. When you've got a super bullish market, it makes a trap trade tricky. 959.55 on the trigger. Our stop is 40. Our tiers 25 and 45. We're looking for a pretty decent size move on the ES. 25 and 45, label it trap MES. And where do we say we're trading it? Number 37. apply it, okay it. All right, turn it on.
In 5 minutes' time, we're expecting the University of Michigan sentiment prelim.
Make
Forecast
sure,
55, prior at 56.4,
Lou, the
with a range
sale
of 59
just
to
ended.
62.
The
Near the
sale, as far
IBCMI,
as I
prior at
know, the sale
51.9.
just ended.
University of Michigan expectations
PTF
prelim. Forecast
89 was the last
55.1,
sale,
prior at 57.
but I
University of
think it
Michigan
ended
condition prelim. Forecast
February 4th.
53.7, prior 55.4. University of Michigan
I'll
5-year
take a
inflation
look
prelim. Forecast
during the day today,
3.4%, unchanged from the
and if I
prior.
see anything,
University
I'll
of Michigan
email it to
1-year
you.
inflation prelim. Forecast 4%,
Anybody knows
unchanged from the
if
prior.
Bullinox has anything going on right at this moment?
Philadelphia
I didn't see
Semiconductor
anything
Index
this morning,
rises
but I didn't check my
4.2%.
email yet. I didn't do a lot of stuff this morning. Started late. So the MES, it's been making new highs. It's pulling back. We have a trap. We also have a crazy gold trap that we're just simming. All right, our MES. I am trading it in a prop account. It's a trap trade. You could lose 150 bucks, I suppose. I believe the news is going to be bad on the inflation news and on I'll show you what the news is made up of. So it's made up of 1 year inflation expectations. They don't usually give a forecast for that. Last month it was 4%. Consumer sentiment is very low right now. And conditions, current conditions. Consumer expectations, okay? And then you have there is an inflation. There's usually a 5 year inflation also, and I don't see that. I'm not seeing the 5 year data for some reason. Usually there is oh, there it is. 5 year. I could have sworn it just said 1 year. Ah, there's the 1, there's the 5. Okay. So I'll keep the news off to the side and I'll bring it in. But gold is, gold is brutally volatile. Brutally volatile. Should Apex not allow gold trading? No. Why are they not allowing gold trading? What's the real reason? The conjecture is
Dow
people are
Jones
making
touches
too
fresh
much
record
money.
high, last up 1.4%.
So they're allowed in the middle when you buy accounts. They're allowed to just change the rules like that? Yes, they are, because you signed and agreed to their egregious terms of service. Prop account terms of service are egregious. It's like TikTok's terms of service. They can do whatever they want, and you agree to it. No one said life is fair, because it's not. Life is a carnival.
1 minute remaining. I'll be dealing with University of Michigan sentiment prelim.
So we'll manage our MES if we can. Gold, we will also try to manage it. Even though it's in sim, we still take it seriously. Life is a carnival, believe it or not.
Ten seconds.
Order submitted.
Okay, there's our traps.
57 spot 3, 57 spot 3, higher than forecast of 55. Canadian IV PMI, 50
Now,
spot
our
9, 50
gold,
spot 9.
look at this.
University of Michigan
Gold might
expectation
still
Order
of
fill.
canceled.
56
We
spot
had,
6,
what
56
was
spot
it,
6, higher than forecast of
85
55 spot
tier,
1. Conditions
and
prelim,
it's
58 spot 3,
cancel
58
the
spot 3,
outer
higher than forecast of 52 spot
tier.
7.
Order
5-year
canceled.
inflation
Cancel the
prelim, 3
outer
spot 4%,
tier.
3 spot
Bring your
4%, higher
stop
than
down
forecast
to
of 3 spot 3%.
safety and
1-year
gold.
inflation prelim, 3 spot 5%, 3 spot 5%, lower than the forecast of
Trail.
4%.
If you're willing to spend $1,000 in risk,
According to the Wall
Order
Street Journal,
canceled.
Iran
gold would have
refuses
given
to
you a
end nuclear enrichment in
$200
talks with the
profit.
US.
And then our MES trap, it's volatile. The news is mixed, okay? The news is mixed. It's positive, but they're not great numbers. I would
We have posted the
probably
University of Michigan Sentiment Survey February prelim report
cancel
on the
the
feed for those
MES
interested.
trap. It didn't explode. It's almost exactly, it's a little bit higher than where it was on the news. I don't want to be filled short because the MES is too bullish. It's pretty much right now very close to the current price at the time of the report. So we've waited over a minute, almost a minute and a half. I would cancel this trap trade. It may fill, but it's still not a trap.
Order canceled.
I'm not letting it fill, all right? That's not a proper amount of time, in my opinion. The gold trap, I'm tempted now. I think I have a handle on how big our gold trap trades have to be. It seems like if we do 85 and 130
It's a bit more further
on
info
most
into this article
trades,
from the Wall Street Journal.
we can survive
Moscow
and make
moment,
good
Tehran
money on a gold
stuck to
trap
its
trade.
refusal to end enrichment
If
of
you're
nuclear
willing
fuel
to
in talks
risk
on Friday between
an
senior
account
US and Iranian officials, but
on a
signaled
gold trap
willingness to
trade,
keep working
there's
towards
very
a
nice
diplomatic solution
profit
that could
potential.
head off an American
So
strike.
we'll talk about that next week because we do have some gold trades that we're not going to get rid
We
of.
have posted the Wall Street Journal article on the feed.
If
for
it
those
turns
interested.
out that no prop account lets anybody trade gold, then that's a big problem because we have to come up with other setups, not using gold. And some reports are just better with gold, even with the volatility. Now, just out of curiosity, as a breakout, let's check the video. Let's watch the video for a second and then we'll get out of here. Let me render it. Give me a minute. So this is a long video. This was the US Open. We actually have Canada jobs in this video. The Oil Open. And then preliminary U of M. What I want to look at is what was the quality of the gold move in relation to it being a breakout. I don't think it was a good move, but let's look at the video. Now, you see why I didn't
Dollar
want
ISM
to
losses
let
versus
the
yen
MES
after University
fill
of Michigan surveys.
on a
Nas
move
down
down.
0.1%.
It would have filled long. You have a pretty intense sell-off going on. A minute and a half is enough to wait for most trap trades. All right? You're bringing in extra risk. Now, the news, current conditions, bullish. Consumer sentiment, bullish. Consumer expectations, tiny bit negative. Inflation, pretty low. Although 5-year was a tiny bit higher. Overall, I would say the report was positive. However, if you look at the numbers, in the 50s is pretty low. So is it really positive? You could look at the report and say this report stinks.
The Treasury Department
That's the
updates
truth.
Iran-related sanctions designations.
Looking at the gold move on this report is what I'm looking for right now. Did gold move in a way that a breakout would have been viable? That's what I want to see. So watching gold right here. Let me look at something. So we
Viewers
already
at
had the
vessels,
wick down.
entities
That's what I
linked
wanted
Iran
to
to
make sure
sanction
that
list.
the wick down was already there before the news. So we're just looking at the candle, and it went down quite a bit before it went up. We did have I said we would have used 100 bracket though. That was a ridiculously big bracket. It was too big. I have to really think about breakouts. Depending on the bracket size, there could have been a long breakout that might have worked. But let's be honest about the way gold's moving on news. Okay? Let's be honest about the way gold moved on news and is moving on news. Traps are the way to trade it. This trap trade offered an easy 200 and a lot more if you just waited a little bit longer. So I think I have a handle on gold trap sizes. The question is, what you're willing to
US Treasury
risk. Are you
yields are now
willing to
higher on the
risk an
day.
account
10-year yield last at
on a trade?
4.214%.
That's the reality. So that's what you have to decide. And we don't have to decide it now until Monday. All right? So an interesting Friday morning. I think that most of us made money. That's what it's looking like. Francis, if I can help, let me know what the errors were. And everyone, our MES trap was a little too big. And frankly, the MES was in the middle of a make a new high, reverse off the high move that maybe
Spot
wasn't
gold rises
influenced all
4%.
that much by the news. Gold is influenced more by the news on many reports than we see from the MES. But certainly sometimes you can get some pretty serious MES and ES moves, of course, from news as well. All right, everyone, let me close our YouTube stream. Thanks, everyone on YouTube, for joining us. We'll be streaming next week again. Hit the notification bell, of course. Like button,